Hey, Professor Mike here, and today we're going to talk about center of gravity. What is center of gravity? Well, that's the point on an object where the weight is pretty much evenly distributed on all sides. So for an object like a sphere, that center of gravity is right in the middle, and that makes this very easy to balance, because that balancing point, another word for center of gravity, is right in the middle. But if we have a complex shape, something like the letter P, that's for professor, that's me, it's a much harder thing to balance because the center of gravity is somewhere over here because the weight on this is not even, it's not equal. So to balance this, we have to actually tilt our hand and give it a try like that. Now if we add multiple objects together, like 3 spheres, we have 3 different center of gravities to work with, which makes balancing even tougher. That takes practice. Now let's try some activities you can do at home. Here's a great little center of gravity trick that you can try at home, on a friend, at a dinner table, or just as a challenge. And that is balancing this can on its bottom edge. And it's near impossible to do that when the can is empty. And that's because there's not a lot of mass or matter in this can right now. So that center of gravity is all the way up top, and it sits so nicely up and down. So if I wanted to balance it on its side, I need to add some liquid to it. And adding I use about a half a cup of water, or 4 ounces, which is about 1/3 of what the can would hold. So if you're doing this as you're drinking it, and you're using soda, then you can drink it till about 1/3 full, and then say, hey, watch this, and just put it on its side like this, and it's going to magically stand on its side. Try this one at home. It's a real crowd pleaser. When you talk about some of the great center of gravity demonstrations, as I'm sure you often do, the balancing bird is near the top. And that's because it looks so amazing to have this bird balance on your finger like this. Now the reason it balances so well is because all of the mass is located in the bird's wings, and the center of gravity is right here at the beak. And that enables it to balance on your finger. Now this is awesome, but it's going to be even better because today you're going to make your own. Now, if only this thing flew. So here's what we need to make our balancing birds. We're going to start with a popsicle stick, which you can find at any craft store, or just eat a popsicle and save the stick, but make sure you wash all that sugar off. We're going to use 1 pipe cleaner. Color red is optional. Use the color of your choice. We're going to use Scotch tape, a toothpick. The clothespins are going to be our balancing weights, so you can use large clothespins. I also have some small clothespins here that you can use. The other thing we can try is using 2 washers, but you really only need 2 items to make this work, so any 2 of these would work. And last, but certainly not least, I have this stencil of a bird that I use that I color in and cut out at the end. If you don't want to do that, or you want to add another animal, that's totally up to you. This stencil itself is available for download on my website, scienceandmagicshow.com. All right, step 1, we're going to take our toothpick with a little piece of tape and just tape it to the end of our popsicle stick like this. You do not need a lot of tape, and if you have just a little bit hanging off, that's perfect. And if it's too much, you can always just snap a little piece off to make it a little bit shorter, because we really only need that part, and that's going to be our kind of our beak for our bird to let it balance on our finger. Okay, next we are going to add our pipe cleaner and counterweights. I'm going to use the clothespins as my counterweights, but again, if you want to use something else or try different items to see what works for you, even better, because that's what engineering is all about, is trying what works. And we're going to want to find the center of this pipe cleaner, and I do that by kind of just folding it over like this, and we're pretty close to center. and I just fold it over one more time until I have two ends sticking down approximately the same length on my pipe cleaner. And I did that on the toothpick side of my craft stick, and this is going to be how it's going to balance. And now if I add my weights, in this case I'm just going to clip on these clothespins, and I bend these forward a little bit so it looks like that, I should be able to balance it on my finger already. And this is the start of our balancing bird. Now we've come to a lot of people's favorite part of the project, and that's coloring in our stencil. Again, I'm going to use the bird that I got from my website, but you're welcome to use any animal or even skip this step and just have a floating craft stick. But let's color this thing in. And there we have it. Ours is colored. Next, we're going to cut this guy out. Now we're ready to finish up the project by attaching our bird to our already balanced popsicle stick. And we do that by using good old-fashioned tape. You could glue it, but no reason to. We're going to tape it. We're going to tape it so the beak kind of sticks out on the front of the bird. I'm going to put one piece of tape here to secure the wings, and then another piece back here just to make sure it sticks. We turn over. We might have to adjust our balancing weights again, but then you have it, your own balancing bird. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching today. And remember, center of gravity is with thanks for watching.